Hi guys! So the other night on Instagram I ran a poll about which subject you would like me to talk about in my next video, and the choices were potty training or the transition from the cot to the toddler bed, and the majority of votes were for the transition from the cot to the toddler bed. So I've had to help parents with this many times over the years, sometimes in person if I was working as a maternity nurse and there was an older child in the house, or when I've been working as a nanny. And I've also passed this information on to a lot of clients and they've had great success with it, so I'm going to share it with you. My first advice is please don't move to the big boy bed or the big girl bed until your child is truly ready. Don't just put them in a bed because the next baba's coming along. They're safe and they're secure in their cot. Now, if they do try and climb out, I would try and address that first rather than saying, oh, okay, we have to go buy a big bed. You know, I would speak to them quite firmly that it's not a game and they must stay in the bed. So try that approach first. But really, they've nowhere to be going and they may just end up coming into your room because they can. So this is what I would do. This is the Grow Clock. You can get loads of different brands, but this is the one that I always go to. So Grow Clock. You can get it in Smith's. You can get it, I think, in Lidl or Aldi. I've seen it a while ago. And obviously you can get it online. So what this is it's blue at nighttime for the moon, and it gets orange in the morning for the sun. So you present this to the child around lunchtime. So you go, oh, look what mommy, daddy got you. We got your magic clock. Okay, so late 2.5 years, almost 3 years is ideal. They've got more level of understanding. Young 2 years are not going to get this and you're wasting your time. So you'd be like, oh, I got you this magic clock, and take the clock out and explain how it works. So when it's blue, we go shh, and when it's orange, we say good morning. So, and get them to repeat. So what do we do when it's blue? We go shh. Very good. And what do we do when it's orange? We say good morning. Okay, so you probably annoy yourself a few times having to do that. And when you take this clock out, it's automatically set to LED 10, which is very bright. Like, it's a super bright light, and we don't need a super bright light. Put it to LED 1. I can set up any printer, laptop, Sky TV, no problem at all. This thing, you need an engineer's degree to do it. This would drive me demented when I was traveling and I'd have jet lag and I'd be like trying to fix the time. But it does actually work really well. It's just a bit finicky, but it works well. So put it on LED 1 to make sure that it's not too bright. Also, don't put a direct view of the cot. So put it maybe over on a shelf, even with like a little teddy sitting beside, so you don't have a big glow. And what you say is, when you're reading your bedtime stories, read one story, and then before you start the next one, you say, now, little Bobby, what are we going to do in the morning? We're going to stay in bed until the sun comes up. Well done. And what happens when the sun comes up? We say, good morning. Very good. And if you do that, you're going to get one of these stickers. Which one would you like in the morning because you've stayed in bed till the sun comes up? I'd like that one. Fantastic. Okay, now let's read our stories and go to bed. Give one more tiny reminder before he goes to bed and leave the room. Set the clock for 15 minutes earlier than what they normally wake up at. So if they normally wake up at 7:15, set it for 7 to let them win. You set your alarm, you go, oh, little Bobby, you stayed in bed until the sun came up with no shouting. There's your sticker that you picked last night. Boom, he won. He knows how it works. And he's like, yay, I won. Get him to tell Granny Mary, get him to tell the neighbor, you know, that he stayed in bed till the sun comes up. If you do that when they're in the cot, then you take the rail off the cot and you continue to respect the clock. So if he does wake up and it's still blue, I would go into, no, it's not morning. Lie down, the sun is not up. And hold strong to it. If you kind of go, it's going to go orange in 5 minutes, so we'll just let them in. You've just lost the power of something that can be so useful. And I do have parents that tell me, oh my God, it's like magic, Kelly. Like they're magnetized to the bed until this thing goes orange, because they've respected it from the very beginning. And I also have a lot of parents go, oh, we tried that, didn't work. Okay, well, it's always worked for me. And any of the parents who I've coached this way in advance of changing from the cot to the toddler bed, they have great success as well. Another thing that I would say, just from my personal experience, 2.5-year-old, 3-year-olds can get very anxious if we kind of overplay something. So plant the seed with the clock. Also, you know, you don't have to go get like a Peppa Pig bed and all this unicorn bedding and all that kind of thing. I would merely take the side down and acknowledge that the side is down, but not make a big deal. I find if we make a big deal about it, they can build up a little bit of anxiety in the child. They know something big is happening. It's not something big, it's just the next step. So that's my advice. Your friends may have done it different, and you may have done it different with your other children, but that's how it works really well for me. Oh, I see in the back of the clock. So see, blue for night nights and orange for when the sun comes up. You can actually use this for nap time as well. It's fantastic for traveling. It's not that heavy, and you'll get great mileage out of it. So I would invest. I recommend it. So I hope that you found that useful. And just a heads up, I've added a few more new products onto my website. They're all products that I have used personally as a nanny over the years, and I find them super useful. There's a lot of gadgets and gizmos out there that are a waste of money. You won't get your mileage out of them. They're not required, basically. And when I work with maternity cases, I always say to the parents, look, if you're spending more than 50 quid, text me and I'll tell you if you're going to get your money's worth out of it, or you might find a different brand. So I've been blessed to work with VIPs, celebs all over the world, and they have no budget. But it doesn't mean that we have to get the top brand. Often, like Fisher Price have a lovely little chair that will do just as good of a job as your top model other ones. So yeah, there's a few new bits and bobs there if you want to have a look. And I have another item coming online hopefully next week, so I'll be making a little post about that. But thank you for sending or voting for this topic, and we'll definitely cover potty training because I know people wanted to get some advice on that. Okay, have a good night. Take care. Bye.